Hi! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Wait, what? Yeah, it's March 1st, and I decided that my new year was going to start today. Doing this broadcast from the beach, and I may weave it into a blog post. But I really wanted to just take a moment to pause and check in from this beautiful, cloudy, overcast beach and the beautiful, beautiful mountains that are just covered in clouds, and share that I know a lot of people have had a rough start to 2019, and everybody was like, see ya, 2018. And well, I am no exception, and I have been in hermit phase with some illnesses, losing a family member, evacuation warnings, and I just really hunkered down and have learned some valuable and really painful lessons. And, you know, I wanted to just come in and pulse out some love from this beautiful scene and offer you an opportunity to join me in celebrating a new year today, a new month. And also the 21st is going to be this is the spring equinox, right? So I'm going to do a big celebration then, I decided. So this is the beginning, and then I'm going to gear up for my own little mini party. And then of course in April it's a national holiday because it's my birthday, and you'll hear more about that later, I'm sure. Because, you know, that's how we roll, Aries. With that being said, a couple of lessons that I've learned have been through working with a brilliant woman named Donna Halit, who is a regenerative grief coach. And some of the things I've learned from her is that grief is a sacred energy. And believe it or not, it's a capacity building skill like any other skill you might have. And I had mentioned in my last broadcast from the beach, which was months ago, that I learned a practice of releasing your grief after the previous year's evacuations, where you put one hand under the underarm and the other hand kind of like, you know, Mary Catherine Gallagher, if you remember her, superstar. And you kind of like hug and hold yourself. And one of the things I learned about what I do is I contain my grief and manage it, right? I'm so good at that. I'm so good at letting myself feel just a little bit, and then saying, that's enough. I have to squash it with gratitude. I have to go manage things for my family. I have to work. I have to do. And part of what recent illness and things have taught me is that I have to yield. And ironically and not, that's my word of the year, is yield. And Donna reminded me that yield can also be a harvest. Like, what do you yield from the garden? And gardener was my other. I'll be sharing pictures of my garden throughout the year, I imagine. And so, wow. And I already think I might have mentioned, I did in my last blog post, that my focus is health and play. So allowing yourself that when you're going through grief or frustration, just like a little bit longer to let yourself feel the feels is something I've been learning to do, and not shut it down so quickly. Now it's not really the flip side, but as a complementary piece, and I will be blogging about this too, is a book called What's in the Way is the Way by Mary O'Malley, that my girlfriend got. And it was one of those things that I actually had I even looked it up while we were on the phone, and I had this contraction reaction of like, ugh, I don't want to read that. And I knew that my reaction was so judgy, and also it made me uncomfortable that I was supposed to read it. So I ordered it while we were on the phone. And we were both in terrible moods and making each other laugh that night. And that book has been transformational for me. What's in the Way is the Way by Mary O'Malley. And there are concepts that I've talked about before on my blog, you've heard before, where you know, sit down for a cup of tea, in theory, with your fear, with your anxiety, with your whatever it is. And what I've learned is that the metaphor she uses is that, like, at our base we have a meadow in front of us. That's the metaphor. A meadow, a green meadow of love, energy, flow. And then these clouds come down of self-judgment, criticism, you know, wounds from past hurts. I keep eating my hair. And so what many people do is they resist them. And if you've, like, gone to therapy for anything, or you've worked it through, you might not even let yourself, you just would run from it. And instead, she says, you know, talk to it, ask it what it's trying to teach you. And this is not, I know this isn't revolutionary, and a lot of us know about this, but for me, the whole clouds piece has been really pivotal because it's a visual that I can identify with. And so I have just really struggled during these couple of months. And, you know, grief has been one of the central themes, but it's also been really just revolutionary and transformational to be able to stop and say, okay, say, okay, I'm a working mom, and say I felt like I sucked because I didn't keep up with some assignment my kid had for school. And then I would start telling myself, you know, you really need to be a better mom this way, or you really need to da-da-da-da-da. And learning to talk to that and be like, okay, what's going on? What's underneath it? Part of that is that we all have things we tell ourselves, and this is in the book, like these spells, of all things she calls them, that I have to do it alone, I have to control life, I'm all alone, things like that we kind of go back to protect ourselves, and also might have been things we needed when we were younger, to survive and thrive in whatever environments that we were in. And this is our chance to go back to that meadow. This is our chance to transform and continue to grow and evolve, and be the makers of peace and love in the world. And it may sound cliche, but the truth is that if each one of us can be at a more centralized, grounded being of peace, even if we're going through grieving, even if we're struggling in a job, even if we're struggling with money, starting to shift your way in the world can really help you to learn how worthy and lovable you are, and that no matter what the statements are that run through your head, that come and they hurt your own feelings or make you not feel good, or less than, those statements are not true. You aren't less than. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. So Happy New Year from me. And I'll see you at least hopefully around the equinox. And I hope that whether you read this or listen or watch March 1st or April 1st, whatever, that you can always choose when to start again. Just know that. Oh, and I wrote some poems and things. So I'll be sharing those hopefully on my blog or other places. All right. Much love. Take care. Happy New Year. Oh, and my hat is by Catherine Carey. I love her, and I know her. She's amazing, and I just decided I would get dressed up. All right. Bye, y'all.